Hi again. I am now standing in our workshop located in Asheville, North Carolina, where ShoeboxTasks, the educational activities for young children on the autism spectrum, are assembled, packaged, and shipped to customers throughout the world. Before going into the details of what makes this an effective vocational setting for adults on the autism spectrum, I'd like to give an overview of what we do here and how things are generally laid out in this space. Besides 37 shoebox tasks, we offer several other activities that complement these tasks, extending the educational value into the sensory and more abstract realms. The many raw materials that comprise these activities are purchased from vendors throughout the United States. Whenever possible, we recycle and use materials that are American-made. The primary jobs in this workshop involve light manufacturing, assembling, and packaging the loose materials, all necessary steps before the finished activities go to teachers, therapists, and parents throughout the world. Not counting Linda and myself, Centering on Children currently employs 8 adults, of which 4 are on the autism spectrum. Of the 4 individuals on the spectrum, 3 are accompanied by a job coach, whose main function is to create their daily schedule based on the work needed for that day and to support their clients' efforts to work independently. A successful coach is one who has little to do because their worker is doing the job independently. And independence is achieved when we've successfully conveyed to the worker what needs to be done. We have learned over time that to do that means being organized, consistent in approach, and making available creative visual instructions. The 4th employee on the spectrum is very independent and highly communicative. He drives to work and does not need a coach to help him during the day. For him, an organized workspace is important, as are written work instructions and reminders that help keep him advised as to expectations and ensure his success. Our work environment exemplifies organization, with every component having a designated place. Each activity has a shelving unit. Each worker has their own work table where the components necessary for that work are visually marked. Specific workstations address specific work that cannot be easily done at work tables and can be found throughout the shop. Raw materials are readily available in each area where needed. Visual instructions in all work areas convey the information needed to successfully do jobs independently. Sensitive to the employee's preference for routine, we incorporate left to right and top to bottom visual strategies. Just like the shoebox tasks themselves, we have found that the organization of the workshop not only benefits our employees on the spectrum, but we neurotypicals as well. The goals set for our autistic employees have always been considerate of their overall capabilities and welfare. Their comfort is not only important to us, but also an indication that our setup for them is equal to their abilities. We seek ways to expand what they do, letting their success and independence be our guide. We may not always get it right on the first try, but we learn by observing, restructuring, and retrying until our workers get it. This is the process. It's also the case that when a worker has been with us for a long time, we modify the guidelines first put in place, providing the least restrictive structure necessary for independence and success. By paying attention to our individual autistic workers, we are able to note where they are challenged or simply get stopped in their tracks. It is right at those moments where we look to give them the tools necessary to successfully get back on track. In future videos, we will look at how we address 4 important questions for each individual on the spectrum to answer for themselves. How much work is there to do? What is the work? When is the work finished? What happens next? By answering these questions, regardless of the setting or activity, the individual's chances to be successful and independent are increased dramatically. In our next video, we will take a more detailed look at how our raw materials are organized and made available to our workers.